Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Tropical storm Beryl formed Friday evening in the Atlantic and could become Hurricane Beryl by tonight or Sunday morning as it moves towards the island chain. And while, according to the forecast, Dominica is not in the direct path of impact, it is imperative that we make all necessary preparations and remain informed. So we will hear from Acting Senior Met Officer Itoma James and National Disaster Coordinator Fitzroy Pascal, as well as Winona Joseph, a Senior Fisheries Officer, to bring us up to date on preparations for the weather event. Let's start with Mr. Itoma James, the Acting Senior Met Officer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just here to give an update on Tropical Storm Beryl. At 2 p.m. today, Dominica will be placed under a tropical storm watch. And what that means is a tropical storm watch is put in place whenever wind conditions are expected to be above 39 miles per hour, and it poses a possible threat to the country within the next 48 hours. At 11 a.m., Tropical Storm Beryl was located about 987 miles east-southeast of Dominica, with maximum sustained winds of about 65 miles per hour. Beryl is expected to continue moving west-northwestwards at about 23 miles per hour. This makes Beryl a very fast-moving storm, and we can expect Beryl to be within the Windward Islands by Sunday night, late Sunday night into Monday morning. For now, tropical storm watches have been in place and warnings have been placed for Barbados. They have a hurricane watch, St. Lucia a hurricane watch, St. Vincent a hurricane watch, and Grenada. And tropical storm watches for Martinique and Tobago. So like I said earlier, Dominica will be joining and being placed under a tropical storm watch by 2 p.m. What we can expect from Tropical Storm Beryl is that we expect there to be some rapid intensification, which means that by the time the storm enters the Windward Islands, it should be a major hurricane, which could cause major devastation for the countries within its direct path. For Dominica, our main concern for now is the seas. That's regardless of how close it passes, we will have some deterioration in sea conditions, where we expect seas to go up to at least 3 to 3.5 meters. We have Miss Joseph with us from the Fisheries, who will give some more information on what exactly the fisher folks can do to prepare for that. We are also expecting rainfall of up to 2 to 4 inches. This can affect a bit more biasly the areas in the high elevations and in the east coast of the country, so we just ask the residents in these areas to pay particularly attention to what can happen and what is possible. So just stay up to date with the weather forecast and what the Met Office and the Office of Disaster Management at least advises us to do. So to recap, we have a tropical storm watch which will be in effect from 2 p.m. today, and I will let the Office of Disaster Management give you some follow-up information as to what needs to be done and when shelters will be open, if they need to be open, in the effect that needs to be done. Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. Itoma James, a Senior Met Officer. And as you heard from Mr. James, Tropical Storm Beryl poses a possible threat, and we expect rapid intensification. Therefore, we must remain alert and prepare for all eventualities. So to provide us with an update on preparations for the approaching storm, Mr. Fitzroy Pascal.
Thank you, Dion. Good afternoon to all. As Mr. James of the Met Service has informed, Tropical Storm Beryl is approaching the Les Antilles, more particularly the Windward Islands, sometime late Sunday into Monday as a hurricane. The national system remains on heightened alert. As a matter of fact, the NEPO subcommittees, the chairpersons, we met yesterday, and a NEPO meeting chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister was held at 10 a.m. this morning. At that meeting, discussions were held on Dominica's state of preparedness in the event the island were to receive any impact from the passage of this weather system. Notwithstanding that Beryl is expected to pass to the south of Dominica, the meeting felt it necessary that the island be placed under a tropical storm watch. A tropical storm watch means that conditions are possible and persons must remain in a heightened state of alert and preparedness and ready to activate plans should the need arise. Of course, noting the uncertainties in forecasting movement and intensity of these systems. The ODM has been preaching preparedness efforts throughout, vigorously engaging the populace on disaster management activities to include awareness and trainings. The national system is in a state of readiness, but more importantly, we require preparedness and readiness to transcend to the ordinary citizen, ensuring a holistic approach to disaster management. At present, we would like to stress that residents continue to receive updated information and heed advice of local officials. Meanwhile, it is important that individuals review their disaster plans, check your surroundings to ensure safety, like paying attention to drains and overhangs, secure your structures, ensure that roofs, doors, windows are weather ready, ensure your go bag is packed and ready with essential supplies for 3 days. If needed, know your nearest designated shelter and the safest route to get there. The national system is always ready to support. Shelters are on standby if needed, and heavy equipment will be placed on standby if needed. The National Emergency Operations Center at Jimit will be partially activated from 5 p.m. Sunday to provide support and coordination. Senior public servants and senior managers will man the NEOC. We are urging the general public to be aware of the hazards, the high rainfall, the high seas, and the high winds. High winds could result in trees being blown away, likewise debris. And heavy rainfall produces flooding and landslides, and the rough seas will definitely cause issues for the fisherfolk community. And as Mr. James said, Ms. Joseph of the Fisheries Division will elaborate more on this. Also, livestock farmers should pay attention where there may be flash flooding, especially in the eastern communities. Persons should not attempt to cross flooded areas, and residents in the eastern communities must pay particular attention to any heavy rainfall period and be prepared to seek safe shelter should the need arise. The ODM, together with the Met Service, will continue to provide the necessary information. Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. Pascal for his report, for his assurances, and for his admonition to all citizens to take preparedness measures. According to the predictions, we are in for some high seas, and as you heard from Mr. James, we can expect deterioration in sea conditions. And to provide more information about this with a warning to fishers, we will now hear from Winona Joseph, Senior Fisheries Officer.
Good afternoon, all. Based on the present weather update as it relates to Tropical Storm Beryl, which is expected to pass through the Caribbean chain as of Monday, and as indicated by our senior Met officer, This system will generate wave height from 2 to 3.5 meters, which will increase in the following days. Persons with livelihoods along the coastal area, particularly fisherfolk and aquaculture farmers involved in sea moss cultivation, are encouraged to take precautionary measures and to do so now. Fishers at the various fish landing sites across the island are encouraged to move vessels to higher grounds, to retrieve fish pots and other fishing gears from the sea, securing them at higher grounds and other secure areas, respectively. Fishers are also encouraged to secure personal documents such as fishing cards, vessel certificates, birth papers, and the like. During this time, we have seen togetherness. Fishers have worked togetherness during this time, and I want to encourage fishers to do so, to assist their fellow fisherfolk as well in securing their vessel and other assets. As it relates to aquaculture farmers, particularly sea moss at this time, we encourage the farmers to retrieve their sea moss lines from the sea, store them in containers submerged with seawater in cool areas until the conditions are suitable for reestablishment. In terms of inland aquaculture farmers, we encourage you to disconnect your water connection from the main water intake that leads to your pond. That will also reduce damage and cost to your operations. I want to urge fisherfolk, aquaculture farmers, and staff to remain safe, as lives and your safety are critical during this time. Be safe.
Well, thanks to Ms. Joseph for her valuable advice to fishers and aqua farmers. To recap, the major takeaway from this briefing, after having heard from the Met Office and the ODM, Dominica will be placed on tropical storm watch as of 2 p.m. Therefore, we urge you to be prepared and monitor the system's progress. Remember to heed all warnings from the ODM, from the Met Office, from the government of Dominica, and stay tuned to your favorite radio station for the information as it comes in. Thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon.